My beloved child, do you know how many of your days have slipped through your fingers like grains of sand? You mourn the past, revisiting it over and over, as if your repeated thoughts could rewrite what has already been etched in time. You reach for memories, some tender, others painful, but all of them locked away in a place you cannot change. I have watched you carry burdens from decades ago, regrets that have taken up residence in your soul like unwelcome guests. You think, if only I had done this differently, or what if I had chosen another path? My dear one, do you not see that each time you turn back and fix your gaze on what cannot be altered, you are tearing a piece of yourself away from the present moment, the only place I dwell? And then, as if the weight of yesterday were not enough, you reach forward, grasping at a future wrapped in fog. Your thoughts run wild with what might be, concerns over your health, fears for your family, anxiety about the world you no longer recognize. You try to prepare, to protect, to predict. You whisper, "What will happen to me?" Or, "Will my children be safe?" And, "What kind of world are we leaving behind?" These thoughts, while born from a sincere heart, have become chains that bind your spirit. For every moment you spend lost in what has not yet happened, you wander further from my voice. You ask why I seem far. You ask where my presence has gone. And I answer you with sorrow and patience. I have not moved. You have. When I created you, I placed eternity in your heart, but I also placed you in time. I gave you breath for today, strength for today, light for today. And yet, you often live as if today is not enough. You divide your spirit, pulling it backward to what is gone and stretching it forward to what is not promised. In doing so, you weaken your connection to me, because I do not live in memory or imagination. I live in reality. I am here, always here, waiting for you to return to me in this sacred present. But child, how can you hear me when your ears are tuned to echoes of the past and the whispers of a tomorrow that has not yet arrived? Do you not remember what I said through my servant Moses when I called myself I am? I did not say I was or I will be. I declared I am, for I exist outside of time, yet I meet you within it, in this very moment. Every breath you take is a gift of my presence. Every heartbeat is my rhythm within you. And yet you live scattered, as if you are a soul torn between two tides, the tide of what was, and the tide of what might be. But I am not in those waters. I am the stillness you overlook. I am the calm you pass by as you flail for control. You have grown older, and with age has come wisdom, yes, but also weariness. You have seen life's fragility, experienced its losses, endured its heartbreaks. And I see you. I see the longing in your eyes, the quiet ache that surfaces when the house is still and the day has faded. You think you must carry everything, memories, responsibilities, unspoken fears, but I never asked you to carry time. That is my burden. I hold your past. I already know your future. What I ask is for you to give me your now. That is the offering I desire most, the full presence of your heart in this very moment. When you come to me in prayer but your mind is racing with yesterday's wounds or tomorrow's concerns, it becomes harder for you to feel me. Not because I have turned away, but because you have not fully arrived. You come with fragments, pieces of your soul pulled in opposite directions, and I weep not because I am angry, but because I long for all of you. I do not want your distracted prayers. I want your heart, whole and undivided, and that can only happen when you return to where I truly am. Right now, even the world around you conspires to keep you fragmented. The noise of news, the pull of technology, the endless cycle of urgency, it all works to distract you from my presence. But I, the God of peace, do not dwell in chaos. I do not rush. I do not demand. I whisper. And to hear my whisper, you must silence the storms that pull your attention away. You must learn to be still again, not only with your body, but with your thoughts, your worries, your regrets. I am not in your past failures. I have already forgiven them. I am not in your future fears. I have already overcome them. I am here, child. Here. With you. Within you. Around you. But I will not compete with your distractions. There is a reason I created day and night. A reason for seasons. A reason for moments. Life was meant to be lived one breath at a time, with eyes open to my grace in each second. But when you cling to what's gone or obsess over what's to come, you rob yourself of the miracles I place in front of you now. You miss the way I paint the sky. You overlook the comfort I send through a friend's voice. You forget to feel the warmth of your own heartbeat, which is my song echoing in your chest. And you wonder why peace escapes you. It is because you are not fully here. But I am. Child, if I could gather all the scattered pieces of you and gently place them back together, I would show you how whole you already are when you dwell with me in the present. You are not broken beyond repair. You are just divided. And I, your God, am the unifier of hearts. Let me call you back. Let me remind you that you are not your past. You are not your fears. You are not the sum of your what-ifs. You are my beloved, created to walk with me moment by moment, not lost in the shadows of other times. So come back. Come back to now. Look around you. Listen. Breathe. I am here. I have always been here. And I will never leave this moment. Because this moment is where I placed my fullness. Not in yesterday's sorrow. Not in tomorrow's question marks. But here. And here is where you will find me again. My child, you keep asking, where is God? You whisper it in the stillness of night. You wonder it in the silence of your prayers. And you ache for an answer as life swirls around you. You remember days when my presence felt closer, when your faith felt stronger, when hope came easier. But now, in this season of life, when so much has changed and the years have taken their toll, you wonder if I have changed too. You fear that I've gone silent, moved far away, or hidden myself from you. But I tell you now, with all the love and truth in my eternal being, I have not moved. You have. I have always been here, right where I've always been, in the place you least expect and most overlook, the present moment. When I first breathed life into your lungs, I placed within you a rhythm that mirrored my own. Your heartbeat, your breath, your pulse. All these were aligned with me, moment by moment. I gave you the ability to think, to dream, to remember. But I also gave you the gift of now. It is in the now where I walk with you, speak to you, comfort you. Not in the past you mourn, nor in the future you fear. I am not a God of nostalgia, nor a God of worry. I am. I exist outside of time, yet I enter time through this one sacred doorway, the present. Do you see what that means, child? It means I do not live in your regrets. I do not dwell in your guilt or shame. I have already offered you forgiveness through my mercy. The things you carry, the things you revisit again and again in your thoughts, I have long since covered. They do not define you in my eyes. And likewise, I do not wait in your tomorrows, hoping you'll one day be ready to meet me. I do not require that you first fix yourself or prepare the perfect future to be worthy of my presence. I come to you right here in the middle of your imperfection, because I am the God of now. This truth is not new. It is written into my word, woven through every sacred story. When I called to Moses from the burning bush, I said, I am who I am. Not I was who I was, nor I will be who I will be. That declaration was not simply a name. It was a divine anchor, a revelation of where I dwell. I spoke to Moses in the wilderness, not from a distant temple or a future promise, but from a flame in the dirt where he stood. And I am doing the same with you. You do not need to travel backward or forward to find me. You only need to pause, to be still, to return to the soil beneath your feet, and there you will find the burning bush of my presence. But here lies the challenge, my precious one. Your heart has become so conditioned to avoid the present. You have learned to numb, to escape, to plan, to grieve, but not to rest, not to be, not to simply exist in the moment where I am. This culture around you encourages distraction. The noise, the screens, the news, the endless busyness. It all tempts you to live anywhere but now. And yet, in all that running, you feel more lost, more tired, more disconnected. That ache you feel? That longing you can't quite name? That is your soul crying out to meet me again, not in a distant memory or an uncertain future, but in the sacred here and now. You must understand that my voice is not found in the loud or the obvious. I spoke to Elijah not in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a still small whisper. And so it is with you. If you would only quiet your mind, even for a moment, and turn your full attention to me, you would hear me again. Not as thunder, not as spectacle, but as peace, as clarity, as love that needs no explanation. I am closer than your next breath, nearer than your own thoughts. I am the stillness between the heartbeats. I am the warmth you feel when you slow down enough to be fully present. Let me ask you something, child. When was the last time you sat without agenda, without distraction, and simply allowed yourself to be with me? Not to ask for something, not to fix anything, but to dwell in my presence? Many of my children have forgotten that this is the very purpose of life, to walk with me, not in theory, not in memories, but in reality. This moment, right now. And do not think that because you are older now, your best moments with me are behind you. No, beloved, they are not behind. They are not ahead. They are always now. Every morning you wake is another invitation to return to my presence. Every sigh, every silence, every moment of awareness is a doorway into me. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are here. And because you are here, I am with you. Let go of the idea that I am a God only of mountaintop experiences or dramatic revelations. I am the God of slow sunrises, quiet mornings, gentle laughter, and small wonders. I am the God who meets you in the mundane. I walk with you as you wash the dishes. I speak to you in the stillness of your afternoon rest. I smile when you notice the song of a bird or the light dancing through your window. These are not insignificant moments. These are my presence, disguised in simplicity. You have waited for me in places I never asked you to go. You have looked for me in places I never led you. But I am not far. You need not search. You need only to return to now. For here I am, always here, always present, always ready to walk with you through this moment and the next. Not through fear, not through guilt, but through love that never leaves. Come back to the now, child. This is where I have always been. My beloved, I see your heart. I see how weary it has grown from carrying years that have passed and tomorrows that haven't arrived. I see how deeply you long to return to that closeness, that calm, that undeniable sense that I am near. And you wonder, how do I get back to that place? You think you've strayed too far or perhaps aged beyond the kind of awakening you once hoped for. But child, hear me now. You have not missed your chance. You have not drifted beyond my reach. Returning to me, to my presence, is not a journey of miles. It is a single breath, a quiet turning of the heart, a simple yet sacred act of choosing to meet me in this moment. That is all I've ever asked of you. You do not need to perform for me. You do not need to prove yourself. There is no ritual, no perfection, no elaborate display that draws me near. I am already here. The only thing needed is your attention. That may sound simple, but it is one of the most powerful shifts you can make, because your attention is where your life flows. When your attention is fixed on yesterday, you live bound by what you cannot change. When your attention is lost in tomorrow, you live burdened by what you cannot control. But when your attention returns to now, to the breath in your lungs, the life in your body, the whisper of my spirit, you find me waiting, arms open, ready to commune with you. Let me show you how to return, not in theory, but in practice. The first step is to stop. Yes, to simply stop. Not forever, not dramatically, but just long enough to break the momentum of distraction. You may be tempted to keep going, to check one more thing off your list, to fix, to do. But child, I never asked you to live in constant motion. I created Sabbath not only as a day, but as a way of being, a rhythm of pausing so that your soul can remember me. When you stop, you create space. And in that space, I enter. So take a moment now. Breathe slowly. Feel your body. Feel this moment. I am with you. The next step is to speak to me, not as if I am far away, but as if I am beside you, because I am. Talk to me not with lofty words, but with honesty. Tell me where your mind has wandered. Tell me where your heart feels heavy. Tell me where you've been avoiding me without even realizing it. I do not grow tired of your words. I do not roll my eyes at your questions. I receive every prayer, every whisper, every silent ache as a precious offering. You don't need to be eloquent. You need to be real. I want your heart, not your performance. Now listen. After you speak, remain still long enough to hear what I want to say in return. I do not always answer in words, but I always respond. You may feel a peace wash over you. You may sense a soft reassurance, or clarity, or even conviction. That is me. I am not the voice of condemnation. I am not the voice of fear. I am the voice that says, "You are still mine. I have not left. I am here." You may not feel something dramatic, but that doesn't mean I am absent. Often, my greatest work in you happens in stillness. Just because you cannot see roots growing doesn't mean the tree is dead. So sit with me, even if it feels quiet. Your presence honors me, and I respond to it. You might ask, how can I do this every day? How can I stay in this place with you when life keeps pulling me away? My answer is not to add more pressure to your day, but to invite you into a deeper awareness. You don't need to carve out hours to find me, though you are welcome to if you wish. You simply need to return to me again and again throughout the day. When you wake up, before you reach for anything else, speak my name. When you feel anxiety begin to rise, pause and say, "God, I know you are here." When you sit quietly in your chair or walk slowly through your home, breathe deeply and say, "You are with me now." These small acts are not small to me. They are acts of faith. They are sacred. There is no perfect formula for returning to my presence, because I am not interested in formulas. I am interested in you. I created you not for ritual, but for relationship. You are not a project to fix. You are a beloved one to cherish. And I cherish you most when your heart turns toward me, when you surrender the need to understand everything and simply choose to trust that I am near. And yes, there will be distractions. There will be days when your mind races and your heart feels restless. That does not mean you have failed. It means you are human. Do not let shame drive you away from me. When you feel far, simply whisper my name again. Each time you return, you build a deeper awareness of me. And over time, that awareness grows into unshakable peace, even in the midst of chaos. I am not asking you to escape your life or abandon your responsibilities. I am asking you to invite me into them. I am not only present in your quiet time, I am present when you fold the laundry, when you talk to your spouse, when you feel the ache of your joints in the morning. Invite me there. Acknowledge me there. Worship is not a place or a song. It is awareness of my presence in all things. Returning to me is not about going somewhere. It's about awakening to what is already true. That I am here. With you. Loving you. Guiding you. Waiting not on a distant mountaintop, but in the room you are in right now. I long for your presence as much as you long for mine. And every time you return, heaven rejoices, not because you were lost, but because your heart remembered. So come back to the moment. Come back to me, over and over, as many times as it takes. I am not counting your failures. I am cherishing your returns. My dear child, now that you have returned to me in the present moment, where I have always waited, you will begin to notice something new, something you may not have believed possible after all these years. Peace. Not the kind of peace the world offers, temporary and shallow, but the deep, anchoring peace that your soul was designed for. This is not peace that ignores trouble or denies pain. It is peace that exists in spite of them. It is peace born not from circumstances, but from presence. My presence. And this is what I have always promised you, from the very beginning. My peace I give you, not as the world gives, not fleeting, not dependent, but whole, complete, and deeply rooted in the now. You have spent many seasons feeling fractured, split between what was and what might be. But as you have turned your heart toward me in this present moment, those scattered pieces have begun to gather. I am putting you back together, not in the image of your younger self, not in some ideal version you once imagined, but in the image of peace. The more you dwell with me here, the more you will feel the restoration of your own soul. You were never meant to live in pieces. You were meant to live whole. And wholeness is not the absence of brokenness. It is the presence of my love, fully embraced. You may notice that life still moves around you, that challenges still arise, that others may not change. But you have changed. You have shifted from living reactively to living rooted in me. This shift is subtle, but powerful. It means that when anxiety knocks at your door, you don't have to answer it. When regrets begin to whisper again, you can smile and say, I no longer live there. When fear about the future stirs your heart, you can breathe deeply and remember, God is not in tomorrow. He is with me now. This is the power of presence. This is the gift of peace. Living whole again does not mean your life becomes perfect. It means your life becomes sacred. The mundane becomes miraculous. The ordinary becomes infused with meaning. Because when you walk with me, nothing is wasted. Every tear you've cried has been caught. Every sigh you've sighed has been heard. Every quiet, faithful moment of trusting me in the now becomes a seed that grows peace in your soul. And child, you must understand, peace is not something you chase. It is something you allow. It is the fruit of presence. When you allow me to truly inhabit your now, peace begins to rise from within you. Not by force, but by surrender. You have spent years believing that peace would come when certain things were fixed, when your health improved, when your family changed, when the world settled down. But none of those things were ever the source of peace. I was. I am. I always will be. And now you are beginning to see that you don't have to wait for peace. You only have to receive it. Like a gift I've been holding out to you for so long, waiting for your hands to open in the present. Living whole again also means living slower. You will no longer feel the rush to keep up with a pace that does not belong to you. You were not created to race through life, collecting achievements or proving your worth. You were created to walk with me, to move at the rhythm of grace. This slower pace may feel unfamiliar at first, even uncomfortable, but it is where your soul begins to breathe again. You begin to notice more, to feel more, to love more deeply. This is not wasted time. It is sacred time, time in which you and I are fully together. And I want to assure you, the peace you now feel is not fragile. It will not vanish the moment life gets hard. Because this peace is not from you. It is from me. It does not depend on your ability to hold it, but on my promise to give it. And I am faithful. I am steady. I am your constant in every change. Even when emotions rise, even when days feel heavy, my peace remains available. All you need to do is return again, as many times as it takes. I never tire of your return. I never grow weary of welcoming you back. You are now living from a place of presence, of nearness to me, and this changes everything. It changes how you view others. You become more patient, more compassionate. It changes how you handle pain. You no longer run from it, but allow me to meet you in it. It changes how you speak, how you listen, how you rest. You begin to carry my peace into every room you enter, simply by being anchored in me. People will notice. They may not understand it, but they will sense something different, a quiet strength, a steady kindness, a heart at rest. This is the witness of your life. Not perfection, but peace. And now, as you continue to walk with me in this way, your days will take on a new light. You will begin to understand that every moment, no matter how small, is an invitation to communion with me. You will begin to treasure the now, not because it is always easy, but because it is where I am. You will no longer be pulled apart by time, but held together by my love. You are living whole again, not by returning to the past, not by securing the future, but by resting in my eternal present. This is the peace you were promised. This is the peace I have always held for you. And now you are ready to live it. Not someday, but today. Not elsewhere, but here. Not partially, but fully. With me. Always with me. Welcome back, my child. Welcome home.